Hello guys, it's Mr. Saqolo here. It's a grade 12 information technology class. Today we are going to be dealing with social implications. What we're going to focus on today the most is social networking sites, the impact of social networking sites. So I will just go to the first slide so that we can talk about what we see. Here is the slide here. There we go. Okay, the first thing that I want us to talk about is overload of information. How does information overload? Overload, if you can see in social networking sites nowadays, beside networking sites, even in websites, we've got a lot of information. Hence nowadays you no longer see people going to libraries looking for information, or there are still those who go there, those who are not too much into digital information, because sometimes we have got some other problems with digital information, especially when it comes to the point of wikis, to decide wikis in this lesson. But for now, I want us to focus on information, things that can make information to overload. We've got too much websites that have information. We've got wikis, we've got social networking sites. For example, like Facebook is the most trending social site in South Africa right now. We've got Twitter, Instagram, a lot of them, and all of these sites are loading us with information. And sometimes it will be fake news, sometimes it will be real news. So we know how to evaluate the information and find out whether it is true. Should you believe, and which side should you not believe? And what are those things that you are going to be looking at in order for you to be able to decide whether is this a side to believe or this is not a side to believe? Information is circulating every day, every minute there is a new information in the net. Mostly we're going to focus on social networking site. So there is too much overflow of information. You may find out you end up overloaded with information. So there are things that you need to do in order for you to be able to manage and deal with that information and be able to manage with it. So here on information overload, I've just started the paragraph like stress included by reception of more information than is necessary to make a decision, or that can be understood and digested in the time available, and by attempts to deal with it with outdated time management practice. Okay, so if you want to learn more about this, you can visit this this website here. So when we have too much information, sometimes it is difficult to make a decision. So you need your time to digest that information, summarize that information and see which information is useful and which one is not useful. Which information do you need and which one you don't need. Too many emails, Twitter links, etc. Can be overwhelming and distracting. So As you are staying right now, maybe you have opened your notifications. Every application that you have on your phone is giving you notifications if there is something new, especially on this COVID time. There are a lot of messages. There is a lot of information right now. They are talking about vaccines right now. They are talking about COVID. They are realizing new things about the virus every day. Some people will tell you this, some people will tell you that every day we're getting information. The number of infected people in South Africa is like this, and the number of deaths is like this. There's a lot of things that are going on nowadays. So there is too much information. So we need techniques to deal with that information. So this information can be stressing to you. So these are the methods that will help you to know how to deal with this too much information. Firstly, you need to have relaxation techniques. Learn how to relax and deal with your information. Maybe you can turn off your notifications. Or sometimes when you say that you need to concentrate and be busy with something, turn off your notification. Limit the number of groups. This is still for limit the number of groups that you go to into. Maybe when you are in a WhatsApp group for friends or that particular thing that you are doing, if another person in the group post something, you're already distracted. Maybe you're busy with something important, maybe your schoolwork or something. So you cannot concentrate and you cannot relax and deal with the problem that you are currently facing. So relaxation techniques are very important. There is a lot of them. Maybe you can set aside time to engage with social media. Maybe you know that during the day, I'll be focusing on my business things, business stuff. And then maybe later on, before I sleep for 2 hours, I'll be going to social media and check my notifications, check messages, read timelines and feeds, see what friends are saying. So that's what you need to do relaxation. And then secondly, improve time management. Improving time management is very important because when you know that you are supposed to be doing something and then you are busy with social media, social media leads to poor time management because sometimes social media tend to be addictive. There are people whereby when you log to Facebook or you go to WhatsApp, they are always active. Every time a person can, maybe they are busy with something, but as soon as they hear a notification or a buzz or a vibration on their phone, they just leave everything that they are doing and focus on their phone and then come back to what they are doing after they have answered that phone. And that can lead to poor time management because you are not going to complete the task that you are supposed to complete in time. So time management is very important. Need to know how to evaluate data. Okay, you need to know how to evaluate information. So in the beginning of this lesson, I talked about a wiki. An example of a wiki, I will say it's Wikipedia. A wiki is a website that allow users or consumers to add and modify information. Yes, that's how I can define. So in a wiki, a consumer or a user can be able to add or modify the information that is there. So for me, a wiki cannot be 100% trusted because someone can feel like they know something, whereas you may find out they don't really know the truth about it, and then they go there and modify. And then when you go there and open Wikipedia, you get some information and find out that information is not 100% true. So those are the things that you need to do to evaluate information. Know who was the author of this. Don't follow just anything in the internet. Know who was the author of that particular information. Do they have proof? If it is a book, which company published that book? Is the author relevant? Is that company relevant or registered? Just have a lot of things that you ask yourself before you evaluate each and any information. Is that information, does it relate to other sources? When you look at other sources, maybe books or other websites, is it the same with the other websites? Try to compare the information that you are getting from a wiki or any other website before you can take it and use it. Especially in YouTube, there are those channels where you find that a person is talking, but it's not really a voice of a person. Maybe find out like they are using something like auto tune or something. Those people just lie about celebrities' life every day. And after that, you may feel that you know something, whereas that information is not true. There are many factors that you can look at when you need to know how to evaluate information. Learn to make choices to manage time and handle the pressure. Uh, First thing first here, you need to learn yourself how to make choices. Uh, uh, how can you be able to work? Can you handle a lot of pressure? Can you work under pressure? Things like that. You need to evaluate yourself before you make choices. And time like search engines a lot. Remember very well, search engines. An example of a search engine can be Google, can be Bing, Yahoo, those types of websites where it's not really a website. That's why they call it search engine, where you go there to look for information. That is a search engine. Google, Bing, Yahoo, those are search engines. Those are the most famous search engines. Okay, search engines have too many things that they do to our browsers. So right now we're going to look at the consequences of search engines. Search engines capture your IP address. We know that every machine, or let me say every computer or computing device that visit the internet have a unique IP address. So that is how it is identified in the internet, an IP address. And use tracking cookies. When you remember very well, on the last topic we talked about cookies, and we said it's a text or script that can take your information about the website that you visit. What time do you visit them? Which language are you using when you visit those websites? Yes, those type of thing. That is what cookies do. To make a record of your search terms, the time of your visit, and the links you choose, then they store the information in a database. Okay, so here the search engine will capture your IP address, and then after that, every browser have cookies. Remember, we talked about two types of cookies last time. Of cookies, I'm sorry, not cookings. Two types of cookies. We said there are local cookies and there are online cookies, of which online cookies operate with online databases. So local cookies are going to be stored in your hard drive, and local cookies are going to be stored in your hard drive. And every time that when you visit a website, they are going to be capturing what time did you visit that website, which links did you press, what language were you using, which websites do you visit, all of those things. And then when it comes to this one, we have got also online databases. So they will store all the information about you on the online databases. And then the next point is talking about data mining is used to analyze databases and predict consumer behavior or target advertising. So when it comes to data mining, I would say is the mining of data. So they store information. Maybe let me say, for example, let me just make a simple example that you can understand when it comes to data mining. So maybe let me say, for example, at ShopRite, they will take stock maybe every week or maybe every day, and then they realize that white bread before the middle of the day, before 12 noon, it's already finished. And the brown bread, sometimes we are left with a few in the stock. So, and then after that, they decide that, you know what? So let's limit the number of brown bread and buy a lot of white bread. You see? So that is data mining. An example, that is data mining because they have took the information. When they take that information, they made use of it. That now they are customizing their stocking of bread according to the information that they have captured on the previous day, and they see that it is working for them. So that is what the browsers do. They will take after taking the information for your IP address, they are going to put them in online databases, and in online databases we've got queries, and then those queries are going to query that information, and they are going to put a strategy how to advertise their businesses or how to get a lot of customers. So why are they doing this? Because they are looking at each and every person's interest when they go to the internet, so that they can strategize how to promote their businesses, how to get a lot of customers. I hope that was clear. Stored previous searches are used to present personalized search results and advertisement. Still relates to the very same point that I was trying to explain at the top. Marketers, government officials, black hat hackers, and criminals can get hold of this data. So that's where the problem is. So the marketers, government officials, maybe you may find, maybe you have just bought a car and then you find that maybe you used to search about cars or car trackers or car insurances, and then you get a call from a car insurance company, or you get an email giving you if you want a quotation for your car, we can do this quotation for you. And even the very bad part about it, it's when black hat hackers. We know that we've got white hat hackers and black hat hackers, and black hat hackers are the hackers who hack for bad reasons, and white hat hackers are the hackers who hack for good reasons. Maybe they want to show you if there is a loose hole in your they want to show you cyber securities, that there is a loophole in your internet or something, and then they will fix it. But black hat hackers, they are doing it maybe to destroy you or to steal your identity or to steal your digital identity, those type of things. And it's all cybercrime for criminal reasons. And criminals can get hold of this information. So this is the negativity of this part. You have a right to privacy, and your search data should never fall into the wrong hands. So just like, for example, here, if you use private browsing, no one can get hold of your information. So that's how you can protect yourself. Besides using antiviruses and all other things, you can use private browsing. No one can get hold of your information. Okay, let's go to the next point. Availability of personal information. And then consequences of group communication. So sometimes, let me say, sometimes in Facebook, there are a lot of groups, there's a lot of pages where we go and participate. Maybe, let me say, you are a BMW fan, you will find a BMW fan groups, maybe BMW owners group, maybe, let me say, you are a worker of, let me say, post office, you will find a group for post office workers. Maybe they want to communicate, or maybe, let me say, you can find a group for home affairs. Yes, there is a group for home affairs in Facebook where you can get all the information. So now we're going to focus on the consequences of groups. Maybe you will find forex groups where they discuss about trading matters, and that is where there is a lot of scams. Bitcoin groups, those are the places with the serious people who are there to scam people. Be wary about how much personal information you post. Do not expose your personal information on social media. It is very, very important that you don't expose your personal information in social media. Use privacy and security settings. This is very important. You may put your your personal information, but be selective about. In these privacy settings, you can be selective. You can put your information, but be selective about who see that personal information. Just like on WhatsApp, when you post a profile picture or you post a status, you can personalize who can be able to see that profile picture and who cannot be able to see it, or that status. So privacy and security settings are very important, and they are there for that to protect your digital identity. Think twice before posting pictures. So it can take us to this point. So think twice before you post pictures on social media. Sometimes it is very important. Sometimes it can have negativity or new. Sometimes it has positive factors. The positive factor is this one. Your online reputation can be a good thing. How can your online reputation be a good thing? Let me say, just like right now, let me talk about Facebook. In Facebook, we've got a marketing place. Let me say you want to sell something and you want it to go very quickly. There, you just go to advertise your thing there in personal media. And then let me say you don't have a profile picture on your on your profile. You don't have your profile picture. You don't post your pictures. People don't have an idea of where you stay. Do you think that people will want to buy your product? No, because you are anonymous. They just think this is a scammer. That's how a profile of a scammer will look like. They don't want to reveal too much information about themselves. So sometimes it is important, sometimes it is less important. So hence it comes back to this one, that use privacy and security settings. So now you can select who do you want to see your profile pictures and information. So this line can have positive, can be positive, and it can also be negative. Keep personal information personal. This is another thing. Keep personal information. You can put some of your details, where you stay, but don't give too much information to the point that when a person think of you, They already have imagined and finalized, this is the type of a person that we're going to meet today. These are the possible things that he might do, and these are the possible things that the person cannot do. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Availability, okay, consequences of group communication, still on the same point. Know and manage your friends. Know your friends and know how to manage them. Know what action to take. You must know the actions to take. If somebody is harassing you on social media, each and every social media platform has a report abuse button. Do or use all of those things. If somebody is threatening you on social media, do all of those things. Protect yourself with antiviruses and anti-spyware software. This is very important. Now, people can spy everything that you do, even on your webcam camera. You may be sitting in front of your laptop and find out that hackers already see you. They see what you're doing. They put things like spywares like key logging, and then they just capture every stroke you do on your keystrokes. They take everything, and that is easy to take your password. When you don't have antiviruses, they just put a spyware on a computer and then it's done. Make passwords longer and strong. So some other sites don't allow your password. If maybe you can say 12345 6, that is your password. No, some other sites will not allow it. So maybe when you do your passwords, make use of letters, small letters and capital letters. Use characters like the $sign, the hashtag, the percentage, all of those things. Use also numbers so that your password can be strong. In that way, you are confusing them. It can be difficult to take your password if it is like that. And also one thing, never be part of cyberbullying, because most of the people who are doing crime in the using the networks, social networking, hacking, and all of those things, they make sure that they hide their identity and their VPNs and stuff. They put VPNs to hide their locations and stuff. So it will be hard to get them. So if you become part of them, it will be easy for you to be arrested. And then we're going to look at the part of social, political, environmental implications. Social networking proves to be a vital tool in revolutions. Personal communities via social media brings political and parties closer to their potential voters. So when you can see now, as I was talking about the matter of groups, you can get a group, maybe like for example for EFF, a group for ANC Youth League in the internet, a group for any political party, and their leaders are always giving them information. The DA is planning to do 1, 2, 3, or maybe the ANC is planning to do 1, 2, 3, and the people stay motivated. So they are always going to love their leaders and wish to vote for them. So that is the other thing that social networking sites how they contribute to making politics strong. Okay, let's look at global community cultural effects. People from all over the globe can collaborate and are not restricted by space and distance. So right now, when you see, you can communicate with people from all over the world without any uh, restriction of space or distance. You can talk to anyone. You can make friends in America. You can make friends in the United Kingdom and be able to communicate with them anytime you want to. You can either use either chat or use video calling, voice calling, anything. So if you want to relocate, maybe when you live here, you will be having friends, because right now you can talk to anyone from anywhere because social networking make it to be possible. It has been claimed that media no longer just influence our culture, they are our culture. Yes, media, it is our culture nowadays. There are some people who cannot survive without social media. So when you look like right now, the situation as it is, maybe when you go to Facebook, it's like it's a place for jokes. It's a place for not caring. I don't know. Maybe you will never find a person right now posting. Maybe back then in the past, people used to post about their depression, about how they feel, about how they are right now. If you post about something like that, it is totally strange, because now Facebook, it's like they are comedians, they are just social networking comedians. So it is somehow it doesn't influence our culture, it is our culture. As time changes, these things also change. Western culture is promoted, and minority groups may lose their unique identity. And most of the things that are promoted in social media is the Western culture, the American culture. If you can see in every township, you will find that there is a group of rappers. They dress like that. Where is that all from? It's from social media, because before social media, when you dress like a rapper, maybe by the time when we were still growing up, we were being criticized, called aboli Wayne, all of those things. But then now, because we are too much exposed to those things, and a lot of people tend to love them, and they shape their culture. They seem to lose to forget about their real identity, and tend to adopt their Western culture. Further, social networking sites have become popular sites for youth culture to explore themselves, relationships, and share cultural affairs. Yes, it's all of those things we have been discussing here. Okay, right now we are going to talk about social websites and wikis. So right now we're talking about Twitter, Pinterest. What was this? This was numbers. And then Facebook, LinkedIn, all of these social networking sites. Um, so here is a definition of a wiki. I've defined it before, but I'm going to repeat it again. A wiki is a website that allows people to add and modify the content of an online knowledge source. So just like we have said, one example that is well known, it's Wikipedia. In a wiki, it's a website whereby people can be able to add and modify the information or the content of an online knowledge resource. So, which means anyone can be able to modify the content that is there in Wikipedia. And I think that is not a site that I will rely on when I want to know about something. I don't think so. Because, firstly, you cannot, maybe let me say you are writing a professional essay, just like a university, you are researching something for that is school related, or you have an assignment and you are supposed to reference where did you take that message from. You cannot really tell who is that person who have said who have added that piece of information there, or who have modified that information that was there. And you, even if the information it is not true, you you cannot reference the person who have put it there. So of which it becomes a serious problem, because now you don't have the resource. Where do you take that information? But somehow it can be informative, it can give you relevant information, sometimes it cannot. So that's why it is very important to relate information from different sources before you make use of them. Okay, why would social medias and wikis be important too? To connect with families and friends, especially on Facebook, Twitter. You can connect with people that you haven't seen in a while. Maybe your schoolmates, your primary school classmates, your high school classmates. You can connect with them. Maybe your family members that don't live here. Maybe they moved, as we are in Johannesburg now. Maybe they have moved to Cape Town. After school, we tend to take separate ways, and then it may happen that you have finished school in a long time and you haven't met any of your classmates. It is normal, because after finishing school, we take separate, different routes in life. So it can be very important in connecting you with your friends and your families. Make new friends with similar interests. You can also make new friends in social media, in social networking sites that have similar interests with you. Make it possible for people with less social skills to communicate. Some people don't like to talk too much when they are with other people, but when it comes to social media, they talk a lot. As like this nowadays, there is this thing also of Facebook comedians. Those people, sometimes when you come to them in person, they may never say anything, but when it comes to Facebook and you look at their site, it's a complete opposite of the person that you know. So of which that this is a good thing, because they can be, some people can express themselves very well in talking, some people can express themselves in writing. So we have got different skills. So I think this is a very good thing. May not take the place of normal face-to-face communication, of which this happens a lot of time. Your Facebook friends, you may not take the action of seeing them face-to-face or meeting them. Can be addictive, which is true. Social media can be addictive. Can be dangerous if you reveal too much personal information. This is what I was talking about earlier on, that do not reveal too much personal information. So that was it for our today's lesson, guys. So what I want you to do for me, to test your level of understanding for this lesson, you just have to go here to this classwork that I am going to give right now and try to answer the questions that are listed here. Please make sure that you answer them clearly. And then after answering these questions, where are they? Where are they? What is going on now? Okay, this is my table. Okay. What's going on? Okay, let me try to open the classwork again. Okay. Okay. Just a minute. Seems as if my PowerPoint, my Word here has a problem. Let me try another way of opening it. Okay. And I can see that it is not showing anything. Okay, let me start afresh. Let me start afresh and share it. Okay, I will be opening the classwork. I want you to try this classwork. I'm still checking my Microsoft Word document here. What is it problem? Okay, seems to be opening now. Okay, it was a bit slow. It was going to open. Okay, all right, now let me just come here. Okay, my computer is a bit slower. All right, let me share this classwork. It seems to have opened now. Okay, open it. All right, so what I want you to do, please try to answer these questions from number 1 to number 8. And then answering all those questions, please send them to me. I will mark them and give a feedback to you via an email. And then I will give the email address that you're supposed to use when doing that classwork right now. Okay, let me open it. Open the email address that I want you. Okay, so if you have answered those questions, you can send them to my email address, and then I will mark that work and send it to you. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. It is now the end of our lesson. So if you have any question, you can email me at mtobisakolo@gmail.com. I will give you a feedback. Thank you, guys. Bye.